For a long time, people have looked for ways to preserve food so that it could be used later. We have no idea how or when people discovered methods of food preservation. The chances are that hungry hunters ate dried berries or grapes. They took to the taste of them and took some home. Later people learned how to dry berries and grapes by exposing them to the sun. By chance, people may have left some food in the snow. They saw that these cold or frozen foods lasted longer than fresh foods. They found out that salt prevented food from spoiling. They also came to know that cooking kept food from going bad. Later, people learned how to tame animals and to grow crops. They gave up wandering and made homes. They learned how to make cheese and butter from the milk of some animals and to make wine from the grapes they grew. They found that when wine soured, it became vinegar and could be used to preserve foods. New ways of preserving food were added to their knowledge. Besides the intellect, the power of concentration is a very important quality, which few people acquire except through education. It is true that it develops naturally to some extent, but people are not likely to acquire enough concentration without a long period of intellectual education. There are three qualities which distinguish perfect concentration from imperfect concentration. Perfect concentration should be intense, prolonged and voluntary. Intensity is illustrated by the story of Archimedes. He is said to have taken no notice when the Romans came to kill him, because he was absorbed in a mathematical problem and bent on solving it. To be able to concentrate on the same thing for a long time is essential to difficult achievement. As long as the object is of great interest, this is brought about naturally. Most people can work on a mechanical puzzle for a long time, but this is not in itself very useful. To be really valuable, the concentration must also be under the control of the will. I think it is above all the control of the will that is nurtured by education. The Japanese often say to me, "Do you have anything that bothers you here in Japan?" To be honest, I have. It is the Japanese unconscious habit of classifying everything into ranks. Which is better, they ask, America or Japan? California oranges or Mikan, and so on. People everywhere do this to some extent, but the Japanese more than others. What is the matter with these questions? Needless to say, there are times when one product is superior to another. It is possible, then, to compare two things of the same kind and price in order to judge their quality. But there is no saying whether peaches are better than apples or whether blue is better than green. A person may prefer peaches to apples, but he can't categorically say that the one is better than the other. Many a thing in life can't be categorized so simply. Take Japanese and American cultures for example. It is foolish to say that American culture is inferior to Japanese culture. They have different histories, languages, manners and customs. It is impossible to say that one is better than the other. When one is not aware of these differences and makes a value judgment, it gives rise to dangerous misunderstandings.